Hey, how y'all doing? I'm sitting here working on a couple pocket knives here, so I thought I'd do a little video and see if I can't show a little bit of what I'm doing. I have this one right here I did file work on, and it's one with African blackwood bolsters and shield, and of course it's filthy right now, but it's that white ivory G10. And I have this one right here. It's natural burlap bolsters and shield, and this is black paper micarta. And I tried my hand at kind of doing a natural look, jigging, make it look kind of like natural bone or antler or something other. Turned out halfway decent. I think I can do a little better next time I do that. I kind of like the natural look myself, though. Like this one over here, that looks nice too. That's a cool thing about doing pocket knives like this. Well, any knives really. There's so many different ways and techniques you can do and learn. You can keep a fella busy trying to figure it out, which is what I kind of think is the fun part of it, because there's so much that you can learn. Anyways, I'm wanting to do file work on these liners, and I got ahead of myself and epoxied my materials to the liners already. So I'm going to do the same pattern as this one, because I've did this one several times, and I'm fairly confident I can file it on these ones here without destroying it and having to throw the whole shebang away. So I am kind of taking a chance, because, well, the novice that I am, I can still screw stuff up, that's for sure. Anyways, I thought I'd do a little bit trying to show the process. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, I got you set up here, that way I can use my hands. And on a quick side note, I forgot to mention, with this being African blackwood, that's real easily split. So I'm going to try my hand at what they call a bird's eye pivot. As you can see, this brass rod here, I believe it's 1/8 inch round, is a fair amount bigger than that 3/32 pivot hole. So I'm going to countersink that hole to 1/8 inch, trim a little piece off of this and press it in there and glue it, and then go from the back side and use this as a pilot hole and drill a center hole in this brass rod. So the reason of that is I can do my countersink in the brass rod, and when I'm pinning it together, all the pin pressure is going on the brass rod instead of the wood, and it will also have a bigger surface area for clamping. So, but anyways, I thought I'd show that real quick. That's something I may mess that up. I don't know. That's not something I've really did before. But anyways, back to the task at hand. First off, I take me a blue Sharpie, which it works, but you gotta be careful about touching it, because this blue well, any Sharpie I think, rubs off real easily. And I color the liners. Of course, if you got layout fluid or something like that, that would work well, obviously better than a Sharpie, but a Sharpie will get you by. There we go. There. There we go. I'm trying to get set up so you can at least see a little bit of what I'm doing. I ain't going to say this is exactly the best way to do all this stuff, being I'm a novice. But so far, this is what I'm learning that works for me, at least reasonably decent at this point. I'm just using a ruler, and well, I'm using the inches and whatnot. And for this particular pattern, I scribe a line across every 1/8 inch up to where, the length of what I'm wanting the pattern to be. And with the scales together like this, that makes sure that the lines are directly across from each other. And I'm actually going to lower this down in the vise just a hair bit. I put some blue masking tape on there to protect my scales. Normally you wouldn't have your scales finished out this much before you have a blade and the back spring and all like that, but where I was wanting to try my hand at that jigging, sorry I bumped you there. I did a lot of finish work on it just to see how it would turn out. So that's the reason why I got these finished out so much. And that's the same, well, when I'm trying to put a shield in, I'd kind of do the same thing. Because I ain't guaranteed to have that turn out. So I want to make sure they're going to turn out before I actually get too crazy with the whole build. Anyways, get these marked. I'm just using a carbide scribe pen. There's a section there that's got 16ths in it. That would throw me off, being how brilliant I am with math and measuring tools. Doing all this is actually really quite time consuming, because, well, I'm a good one to blast in and try to make quick progress, because, well, for me, when I see progress, it's encouraging and keeps my motivation up. But when it comes to the file work, I gotta make myself just go ahead and slow down and not get in such a hurry, because you can mess this up so fast, make your head spin. Or at least I can mess it up so fast. There we go. Well, let's see if you can kind of see. There you can kind of see on that end the marks. The light glaring on it kind of wants to hide it. Well, I about had it there. There we go. There you can see them. I got them all the way down there. And now, being I already have the handle scales made, or epoxy to them, unfortunately, I'm going to have to separate them and do them one at a time. So I'll start on that next. There we go. I got one scale in the vise there. I'm going to start each line with this small triangle file, and I'm going to do 2 cuts with triangle files, and I'm going to finish it off with this larger one and alternate 2 cuts to 1 chainsaw file cut, which gives it that pattern. I ain't going to video the whole every single one. I'm just going to do some here. That way you can kind of get an idea. Because, well, on that last one over there, I probably had a good 2 hours worth of sitting here at the vise of filing away. So there ain't no way I'm gonna. Lord, it'd take a week for me to upload a 2-hour video showing me a filing away. Not to mention everybody'd be bored to tears. Oh my. But this small one, it does a good job of, it's a little sharper, good job of getting the spot started. And then I'll come in behind with this larger one. And no, I don't count my revolutions here. This is something I do by eye as far as the depth. Because with the Sharpie on there, it's easy to see what the depth is. So this is one for me anyways. I know a lot of guys can get a lot more particular, which they probably do better work than me as far as that goes. But when it comes to this, as long as they are very close depth-wise to each other, you have to really look hard to tell a difference in it. In my opinion, that is. So, anyways, and for the chainsaw file, that's the first 2 notches. I will use this little file to start it as well, because that gives it a little groove for it to kind of hold the roundness in spot. It don't take much. I mean, you can still slip off, but that does help. Of course, I'm a good one at using my thumb as a guide as well. Alright, we got this scale done. Get a little look at it. Now the entertaining part will be to get the other side to match this side. Let's see what happens. And that is the last 2 notches. We shall see if I did any good or not. Considering I couldn't have them back to back to see exactly if I was lining up, that turned out real well. I want to clean it up real quick, that way you can get a better look at it. Here we go, I got them cleaned up real fast and threw this old back spring in there, that way you can get a contrast on it. I believe it turned out pretty decent. It looks like everything has lined up, for the most part, pretty well. I ain't going to say it's 100%, but it is, for me anyways, this is pretty well. But anyway, there's a look at a little bit of progress on that particular pocket knife. And I do appreciate you following along and watching. And I will talk to y'all later.